This is the Voynich Manuscript, 600 years old, about 240 pages, and not one person on Earth can read it. Not scholars, not codebreakers, not supercomputers. Everyone who has tried has failed, quit, or published a theory that got them laughed at. It is written in an alphabet that exists nowhere else on the planet. Experts call the language Voyniches because naming things is hard. In 2009, scientist Carbon dated the calfskin pages to the early 1400s. So no, it is not a modern prank. The first half is a plant encyclopedia. Lovely. Except botanists have identified almost none of the plants. They simply do not exist. Some pages show plants that are clearly two plants stapled together. Roots of one, flowers of another. A police sketch of vegetation. Then come the star charts, zodiac wheels, constellations, and a sun with a human face that has clearly seen some things. And then the famous part, dozens of small, naked women lounging in green pools connected by what appears to be medieval plumbing. Scholars call this the balneological section. That is the polite academic term for, we have no idea why the ladies are in the tubes. There is also a giant fold-out of 9 circular islands linked by causeways, or castles, or cosmic donuts. Interpretations vary wildly. The pharmacy section pairs plant parts with apothecary jars, like a medieval drugstore catalog written entirely in gibberish. It ends with hundreds of tiny paragraphs, each marked with a little star. Recipes, apparently, for what? Excellent question. Nobody knows. Emperor Rudolph II allegedly paid 600 gold ducats for it. That is roughly 2 kilograms of gold, for a book he could not read. To be fair, Rudolph also collected exotic animals, court alchemists, and anyone promising to turn lead into gold. Vetting was not his strength. By the 1620s, it belonged to a Prague alchemist named Georg Berisch, who stared at it for decades and achieved absolutely nothing. Relatable. Berisch mailed copies to Athanasius Kircher, a Jesuit scholar famous for claiming he had cracked Egyptian hieroglyphs. He had not, but confidence is free. In 1665, the whole book was shipped to Kircher in Rome, who also deciphered exactly none of it. The manuscript remained undefeated. It then vanished into Jesuit libraries for 2.5 centuries, presumably filed under problems for future generations to deal with. In 1912, a Polish book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich bought it from a Jesuit villa near Rome and modestly named it after himself. Voynich insisted the author was Roger Bacon, a famous 13th century friar. Carbon dating later ruled that Bacon died about a century too early. Awkward. Enter William Friedman, the legendary codebreaker who helped crack Japan's purple cipher in World War II. He studied the Voynich for 4 decades. Final score, manuscript 1. Greatest codebreaker of the century, 0. His conclusion after 40 years, it is probably some kind of language, groundbreaking. Here is the genuinely creepy part. The text obeys Zipf's law, the statistical fingerprint of real human languages. Random gibberish does not do that. And the scribe wrote fluidly, with almost no corrections. Whoever made this knew exactly what they were writing, or was history's most confident fraud. Which brings us to the hoax theory. In 2004, researcher Gordon Rugg showed a simple Renaissance grill tool could mass-produce convincing nonsense. Skeptics reply that a fake good enough to fool statistics for 6 centuries would itself be a masterpiece. Congratulations either way, anonymous author. In 2019, an academic announced he had finally solved it. The internet rejoiced. Actual linguists needed about a day to shred the claim. That happens roughly every 2 years. Someone declares victory, headlines explode, and then experts quietly point out the emperor has no syntax. Artificial intelligence has taken its shots too. Algorithms have confidently identified the language as Hebrew, Latin, and Turkish. Pick one, machines. Today it sits in Yale's Beinecke Library as Manuscript 408, receiving visitors like a retired celebrity who never explains anything. Yale scanned every page and put it online for free, which means thousands of internet detectives can now fail to decipher it from home. Progress. 600 years. Emperors, alchemists, war heroes, and supercomputers, all defeated by one anonymous scribe with nice handwriting and a secret. Maybe it is a lost language. Maybe it is history's longest-running joke. Either way, if you enjoyed being baffled, subscribe. More unsolvable history soon.